wait for Parnell. We're not going live, are we? Can't hear you. Can't hear you, Charles.
You on mute, Charles.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it live, and it's gonna record, and we'll do the next ones where we record the rest of them and send them out.
Okay. Are we live right now?
So here you go. Yeah, you can talk right now. This is it behind the scenes. That's what I wrote. This is after the show.
Okay.
Let me just say this real fast while we're doing after the show. When it comes to America, when are we going to finally get a time to understand that we as Americans are one unit? We don't. What happened to I am our brother's keeper? We can't survive without each other. There's no way in hell we're going to roll through this world without helping each other. Somewhere we're going to have to help each other. There's no way we can get through this without it.
Right.
Until we start becoming one America again, the way it should be, we're going to disintegrate like all great democracies, societies, Atlantis and all that.
Right.
Same.
Totally good. I that's my consistent message. I mean, all the time. I say it all the time. When we start recognizing the human spirit and not the color of a person's skin at the end of the day, because the number one problem is his skin color. That's the number one problem. That in religion is the skin color, and we think that because of the skin color, it's identifiable as who that person is. That person has nothing to do with that skin color. At the end of the day, it's the behavior what comes from that spirit or the inner part of that individual. They just happen to be in that color of that skin. At the end of the day, because if you're gonna have bullshitters on the black side, you have bullshitters on the white side. They all bullshitters at the end of the day. Yep. And you can't have a white bullshitter and a blue. And a black and a blue and an orange bullshitter. They all bullshitters. They may say it differently, but they're still all bullshitters at the end of the day. But anyway, go ahead, Darren. Let me interrupt you on that point. You hear me, Darnell?
Oh no, I was just saying. I was just saying about the fact of I just feel as if the honest to God knows truth that everything that's going on is a part of a design plan that they have already designed, they have already put together, and everything that's going on now is just all of the distraction to keep us from seeing the design plan. And if we as a country don't figure it out and don't get it together, don't start to saving our money, number one, don't start to putting our affairs and stuff in order, number two, we're going to be up shit's creek without a paddle. Because at the end of every day, as you can see, the government is not worried about the normal people. They too busy fighting amongst each other.
Well, when has the government ever really been for the people at the end of the day? It's all about what the promises that are being made by whoever wants to run in government, typically the president. And I honestly, I've voted in, 12 elections, a few elections, and most of them have not been fulfilled. Promises have not been fulfilled. They've been skated over. For here that when they've been held accountable for those things. The only person I can think of, in my name, I could be awfully correct in this, and got challenged on it, was very close to fulfilling his promises with Bill Clinton. Now, if the behavior under the desk would have not been happening, he probably would have, he probably would have not had the problems that he would have been able to, achieve what he put out there to do. But that behavior, put a major distraction, as to what he could have done as president. They went to a whole nother direction. So you have another group of people, that same group to his right, disqualified him anything that he wanted to put out there. Now, one of the things that I thought that was really good that Clinton was going to do is that he honestly, if you looked at how he arranged his politics and a lot of the way he presented, he was taking honestly a Republican agenda and making it Democrat. But he went back a different way about presenting it. Okay, and it would have worked because he had the support of the people being able to do that. Now, I could be right or wrong, and it could be shifted a little bit. But as far as me following him, I was like, this ain't nothing but a Republican, agenda, And he made it to appear as a Democratic agenda, But unfortunately, what happened with him, and under the desk indiscretion,
Well, I'm gonna put a little mustard on that real fast.
Okay.
Your personal life, as long as it's not illegal or immoral, should have no effect on the policies in which you hold. Marion Barry got elected over and over and over again as a crackhead, and he was taking care of the people and doing his damn job. Hillary and Bill are the only two that should have been involved in that conversation, along with Monica. Right. They're the only ones who were involved. Everybody else had no business in that situation whatsoever. And if we were so moral, why is Trump in office? We can't be that damn high and mighty if Trump is in office. So where do all these morals come from? That went out the window for everybody else, but now Trump's in there, it don't matter.
Well, my hypothesis.
But to piggyback you, JB.
I have this joke.
But to piggyback you, JB, do you guys think that due to the factor of everything that the correctness that he was trying to put into place, because like they always say, the wife is normally the person who runs the White House for real,
right? Pretty much,
because he brings everything to her. Do you think that that's one of the reasons why they did not want her to be in office? Because she knew what to do and she knew how to get it into place?
Absolutely. I mean, she pretty much knew how to run the office. I mean, she knew how to run the presidency. She was right there. I had a little joke. I'm going to say that you're going to make your point. You said that no one, Charles, you said that no one else could speak but Hillary and Bill. Monica couldn't speak because her mouth was too full.
Oh, Lord.
You know what? That I'm done. We're going to put you off of here. We're going to censor you real fast.
Go ahead, Sandy.
I'm not jumping in here. I think I disagree with a lot of what's been said. Because Darnell, when you say they, I don't know who they is. So when we put something out there and we go they, and I go, okay, well, who's they?
Okay.
I go, I'm fine to think that this, look, and when we say about politics and stuff like that, when we had world wars, our presidents, we united around what we were trying to achieve as a country. When Franklin Delano Roosevelt, one, got us out of the Depression, and then two, came along with the New Deal and got us through World War II. I think that he was there to serve America in the best way possible, and he wasn't trying to take care of himself. When Eisenhower Truman dropped the bomb on Japan trying to save American lives, killing infinite amount of Japanese lives, but going, I want to put an end to this thing and tell them, stop doing this. We don't want to do this anymore. Then Eisenhower became president, and JFK said, let's set a goal of getting to the moon, and America rallied around that. When 9/11 happened and Bush, said, hey, we rallied around that. But and the stuff with Clinton, he shouldn't have done what he did, but was it anybody's business? And do we need to go investigating and this and that and everything like that? But then you get Nixon, who was a crook and had to resign. So and Obama comes along and is a bright intelligent mover shaker, and half of America doesn't like him because he's black. So we're going to keep him from doing everything he wants to do, but somehow he still managed to get healthcare through. And the Republicans now would like to take it away. I just don't get it. And then Trump came along and wanted to undo everything. And I'm rich, but you should all raise money and pay me and let my son go over to Saudi Arabia. My son-in-law go to Saudi Arabia and come home with $2 billion. I mean, and they want to be mad about Biden, and maybe they have no evidence about anything, but they go, oh, he got a check for 40,000 or 200,000. And you go, I'm sorry, let's go back to the 2 billion. And when you take care of that, then you can start talking to me about this other stuff. So I'm just curious, Darnell, when you say they, who is they? Because I don't know who they is. And unless you can be specific and go, what am I looking out for? Who are they? Who's doing this? Because there are some good people in Congress, even someone like Liz Cheney, who's a Republican, and I disagree with her political point of view, but at least the woman was honest and said, hey, we got a crook in there. But this was an insurrection. This is the worst thing in the world to have this guy anywhere with any kind of power. And she's not a they. She's someone that's fighting against it. So, and there are a lot of wonderful Democrats and people that go, look, we can't do this. This isn't right. So when we start to get into conspiracy theory and we just go, I need more specifics because it's hard to get on board that train.
Charles, go ahead.
I'm about to say, Charles, repeat that question one more time.
Which one?
The one you said about the divide and conquering.
Oh, I said that.
You did say something about dividing and conquering. I was going to ask. I was about to say, you know, I just go on this little say this. I just feel like when it boils down to it, every time there's a situation with the economy, somebody's to blame. It's always somebody's to blame for somebody being broke or being homeless. And it does sometimes boil down to race, and sometimes it boils down to religion too. I mean, it's that has always been the fundamental situation through history. During the Great Depression, why were so many Americans out of work? And then not over here, but in Europe too. And then you had Nazis and you had Mussolini's groups. All these fascist groups started growing because somebody was to blame. And who was to blame? And we all know the question, but of the Jewish situation. And then over here in America, you had certain people who didn't like the fact that communities like Tulsa and Black Wall Street was built because that they felt, how could this happen? Why did this happen? The dividing and conquering of people have always been the situation through each period of civilization. Even in this country, as we speak, people are out here trying to survive. Right. But then what we're doing at this time is pointing fingers. And you got people now who are saying, well, you know, we have this, we're talking about people now in Congress. I keep forgetting her name because she's Muslim. She's a Muslim Congress lady. She practiced the faith of that. But you have Republicans pointing fingers at her. Then you got Republicans pointing fingers at Antifa, progressive groups. Then you got people pointing fingers at the Hispanic groups. It's so much dividing and conquering. I don't see us ever coming together and making a sound, decisive decision. You know what I'm trying to get at? A decision of trying to build back a better America. Right. Because everybody is on their own at this point. They have even in our culture. I mean, you got foundational Black American movements that are now starting to come up where they're trying to say a lot of Africans who are coming over here are taking our jobs. And that's scary on our end because I have never heard of something like that. We had a conversation about reparations in this country where you have people dividing us through our communities, saying, well, you can't have this money because you're not an original African American. You didn't have your ancestry didn't come through. So, you know what I'm trying to get at? I think that's where we're at in this time. Too much dividing and conquering through economics. Well, yeah.
I mean, Brandon, before we go, do you got something you want to add up, Charles?
We're already 3 minutes over 10 minutes now.
Okay. All right, guys. So this has been the truth behind the truth behind the truth. All right. We'll see you guys next week, Saturday night. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy your week.
Good night.